That is the big difference between the two right now. South Dakota State's got most of that team back. USD is having to reload this year with the loss of Hannah Shervin, Chloe Lamb, Liv Korngable, those great seniors to graduation. And then Maddie Kroll was a big part of that team, went to Nebraska. Kyle Watson went with
Coach Plitzowite,
to West Virginia.
Yep,
so here we go with the Coyotes and the Road Reds. And Grace Larkins, 21, is our player to watch. Sophomore out of Altoona, Iowa, and she leads them in everything right now. This is Hempy to Giebert, and the starting lineup presented by Dakota Bank. Morgan Hansen in there as well from Sioux Falls Lincoln. Giebert gives it up to Hansen. Peyton Burkhardt over with a little help there. Out to Hempy for the first shot of the game, and there go the Coyotes, who come in making better than 8 threes a game.
Hempy's been one of their most consistent three-point shooters all year, and she gets a great look to start the game off from the top.
Peyton Burkhardt gets an equally good look, and that is brought down by Hansen and Larkins. Hempy again going to try back-to-back. Off glass, no good. Battle for the board, won by Peyton Burkhardt. Here's Drew Gilton, the 6th-year senior. Played 5 years at the University of Utah before coming to South Dakota State. She's from Rapid City. And a foul right away on Macy Giebert.
Now, Gilton's been such a shot in the arm for South Dakota State. You bring in a veteran point guard, played 4 years at the University of Utah, and led the Pac-12 in assists last year. So bringing in that kind of experience at the point guard spot has been huge because, again, South Dakota State's been without Paige Meyer most of the year, their starting point guard from last year. Now she's back, but coming off the bench.
Gilton gets 1 out of 2, and yeah, she has a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. That is fantastic.
That's a coach's dream right there from the point guard spot.
Matchup with Larkins, and again, the Jacks will switch up all of that stuff up at the top of the circle. Haley Timmer switches off on the Larkins. Here's Morgan Hansen again going against Tori Nelson, and Peyton Burkhardt with another rebound, and a foul will go on Lockard Demers, the freshman out of Grafton, North Dakota, for the Coyotes.
Now that's significant because USD is out without Janai Ugovsky, their starting center. She's been battling some injury this year, not able to go today. So they're a little thin at that spot.
Long and strong by Nelson, tapped into the hands of Larkins. Right at Gilton all the way, and 1 for Grace Larkins.
Grace Larkins means everything to this USD team offensively, and this is probably what she's best at, snatching a D-board and then just attacking on her own. She's averaging 22 points a game in Summit League play so far. And just a terrific start for USD here in the first 2 minutes.
The 3 by Hempy, the 3-point play by Larkins for the Coyotes.
Well, and getting some stops on this, and that's going to be really huge for South Dakota in this game.
Peyton Burkhardt and the Jacks a little jacked up early, a couple long balls. Back into the hands of Larkins. Dump it down. This is Carly Duffy, who just came off the bench right away, and that rolls off. Another rebound right away for Burkhardt for the Jackrabbits. That's 3 boards already. Gilton looks to pass. Sellen. And the first shot for Gilton off the back of the rim, and the Jacks chilly at the begin.
That's a terrific defensive possession for USD. They contain the ball, blocked out defensive rebound. That's what they want.
Extra step for Larkins, but South Dakota State has missed its first 4 shots.
Haley Arias there, that first-year head coach for USD. Now, had to take over a program here again that lost so much off of last year. Basically, all 5 starters gone. Grace Larkins, their first off the bench, who has proven now to be a terrific superstar player in the Summit League in her sophomore year.
Paige Meyer in for the first time. This is the 7th game now this season for Meyer after sitting out early. Burkhardt spins, and in 5th-year senior Peyton Burkhardt out of Aberdeen.
Right away, they put Paige Meyer on Grace Larkins.
Hempy spins into a double team as Sellen came over, and back-to-back travels on the Coyotes. Burkhardt got the hands in there, made Hempy take an extra step. Here's Callie Tyson in for the first time as Sellen gets the post up in that matchup against Macy Giebert right now.
Giebert is USD's top defender. They're going to put her on Sellen a lot in this game, but Sellen with a size advantage, taking it inside that time.
Duffney coming for the screen. Larkins again. The Jacks switch that up with Tyson coming out. Short on the three. Duffney, oh boy. Count it, going back up.
Now this is the risk you run when you switch screens like this, because now Paige Meyer at 5'6", trying to block out inside, not tall enough, and USD gets an O board.
Duffney right in. Three-point play for the redshirt freshman for the Coyotes.
And you're going to see a lot of young players out here. 7 sophomores and freshmen for USD will see action today.
Haley Timmer knocking down the first three for South Dakota State to tie it up.
Now, Timmer's played well offensively in their home games, but not necessarily shooting it. Gets that first one to go in from the three.
Duffney trying to get around Tyson. That somehow came off the rim and back into the hands of the Jacks. Paige Meyer on the push, going in against Larkins.
And so far, USD has been able to get back in transition.
Sellen getting to the post again and counted for Maya Sellen.
Now, South Dakota State's made their last 4 shots because they're starting to do this, attack the paint. And Sellen getting her second post touch in a row, and now a chance at a three-point play.
Five quick ones for Sellen. Maya Sellen had 30 here a week ago against North Dakota, made 10 of 12 shots, 7 of 9 at the three-point line in that game for Sellen.
Tom, honestly, I think that was maybe her best game ever offensively. And I mean, that's saying a lot because she's had some great ones. But I mean, that kind of efficiency is amazing.
Rip and run for the Jacks. Meyer. Good look for Callie Tyson for 3, and the Coyotes clear off the boards with Hansen.
That defensive rebounding is paramount for USD, and they've done a great job so far.
Brooklyn Meyer with the block.
Now here's where South Dakota's got to get careful, though. You don't want this to be a track meet like that. Just a terrific push by South Dakota State. Well, I think when you look at how South Dakota State started this game, they were shooting jump shots. They didn't make their first 4. Now they've started to attack more in transition and in the paint. And Tom, they've made 5 of their last 6 to take this lead.
6 quick points for Haley Timmer. Larkins back on. Checked by Paige Meyer coming up the floor. Screen here from Walker Demers. Brooklyn Meyer defensively again. Second block for Brooklyn Meyer, the true freshman. She's from Larchwood, Iowa, West Lyon High School.
Has a very bright future here as a Jackrabbit. I mean, she has had some terrific games already as a true freshman, and that's something to say when you look at how difficult a schedule SDSU played in their non-con.
Another travel. That is 4 turnovers on the Coyotes.
And South Dakota State's really helping a lot. When South Dakota puts the ball on the deck, there's just not a lot of room.
Meyer explodes to the rim and in.
Now, they want to be able to play Paige Meyer more minutes, Tom, but they're just still trying to get her back. She really didn't start practicing until December this year because of the injury she had from last year. She is not in 100% game shape right now, so they've had to limit her minutes, but you see how impactful she can be. Now it's 11-0 run over the last couple minutes. This has happened quickly to USD. They've got to dig in here and string together a couple stops like they were getting earlier in the game.
Meyer dragging the defense. Here's Maddie Velostin, who's really shooting it well for the Jacks. Rebound to Callie Tyson, and a foul on Larkins.
Oh, this is huge. This is the second foul on Larkins, and obviously she's got to be careful in knowing that. She's an aggressive defensive rebounder. Got tangled up that time to get her second foul, and now USD sending their best player to the bench with foul trouble.
Tyson, a solid 6.6 rebounds almost every night. Got 1 out of 2. So Macy Giebert will run it up now with Larkins out of there. Avila Ambrosi is in as well. And here's Morgan Hansen, who has been able to score a little bit since she's been in the starting lineup for the Coyotes this year. But another USD turnover.
Now these are big possessions for South Dakota here. They're going to get a foul inside on Hansen, trying to defend the low post. SDSU scored on 7 of their last 8 possessions in this game. Their efficiency offensively has now taken this thing over. And it was 9-5, and it's now 13 in a row for the Jacks. And Tom, I think Kayla Harris has got a really difficult decision right now to make. I know Grace Larkin picked up her second. She's on the bench, but you can't let this game get out of hand here early on. This is going to be too big a hole to probably climb out of. And she may have to just kind of roll the dice and put Larkins back in there.
You're talking even before the end of the quarter.
I am. I really do think that. I mean, if this is a 15-point deficit heading into the second quarter, that's tough to climb out of in this environment. And on this end, you know, South Dakota's kind of ramped up some pressure. 5 turnovers forced on USD. And it started right here at the point. Paige Meyer's been really hounding the ball. There she is again. Just took that one away. And I think drew a foul after it.
Yeah, going to be the second foul on Macy Giebert now.
So things are getting worse here for South Dakota. They're basically starting 1, 2, and 3 positions, all with 2 fouls. Morgan Hansen, Giebert, and of course we already mentioned Larkins.
Meyer went and got her own and got a third shot at it, missed that, and she will kind of chuckle as she goes to the bench, but
USD dodges a huge bullet there.
Peyton Burkhardt, Drew Gilton come back in for the Jacks.
Well, Tom, the Coyotes just really haven't, quite frankly, had to play very many possessions this year without Grace Larkins out there. I mean, she's a player that plays 30-plus minutes.
Giebert stays out there. Giebert and Hempy, and these players can score, but a lot of that comes off of what Larkins does.
Absolutely, and South Dakota State happy to see a jump shot there.
Maddie Velostin 3, a little short. Giebert. '25 is Cassidy Carson, another redshirt freshman, and a push down low on Brooklyn Meyer.
Yeah, that was the point I was about to make. 3 freshmen out there right now for South Dakota. In a tough spot here, down 10 on the road early on. And we mentioned already, you know, huge loss for South Dakota, not able to play the guy, Janiyah Ugofsky, who would start for them at the post and, you know, has played in this rivalry game and used to playing in this environment, not available.
Tori Nelson reached in, got the steal there. Burkhardt, extra pass back to Gilton for 3, and the Jacks keep it rolling, and now a USD timeout.
Plowski. Madison Grange, a guard that they got to transfer in from Utah Valley, who showed great promise, injured early, and then a freshman, Joy Bergstrom, also. I mean, the list is long for South Dakota on the injury front. And Tom, that's the first bucket for USD since about the 6:20 mark. So they went almost 4 minutes there without scoring.
Another three for Hempy to stop that 17-0 run. Peyton Burkhardt, glass.
And this is where South Dakota State's really going to try to wear on USD with their depth. On the glass, in transition, pushing it.
Jacks have already got 9 players deep on the bench. They can go further than that if they'd want to.
You can see the pressure they're putting on the ball here. Good handoff, though, to get that time a wide open three for Giebert.
Duffney going after it in the corner for the Coyotes, keeps it alive, and USD will get another possession.
Now, this is a really good three-point shooting team for South Dakota. They come in Summit League play, 38%. And you look on the season, Tom, they're almost top 20 in the country, but 2 of 7 so far here. They need to make threes to stay in this game. But tough to do, and their leading scorer, Grace Larkins, is not out there. She's already got 2 fouls.
Shot clock again to 5 for Giebert. Cassidy Carson got to get one up there and gets it to go. First bucket for Carson.
That's a big-time play by the freshman Carson there, who's shown great flashes here. She's getting more experience. South Dakota going to play some zone here at the end of this quarter.
Deep three for Gilton. Good back-to-back threes for Gilton.
Well, Gilton is a pass-first point guard, but when she can get a wide-open look like that, she is a very capable shooter.
Sellen dropping down to steal it. Timmer. Give it up to Gilton. Give it up to Sellen.
That's just too easy. They continue to push until they get open looks, and that time Sellen the trailer.
8 already for Sellen. Final 3 seconds, and Haley Timmer in there gets another hand on the ball that causes another travel, and the turnovers are 9-0 in this opening quarter.
That is the difference without question. And why South Dakota State busted this thing open. They just strung together stops.
Gilton with a heave, and that'll be it. A little contact there maybe on that last shot, but South Dakota State ends the quarter with the threes by Gilton and by Maya Sellen. And it is 30-14 Jackrabbits after 1 on the Ag Tegra scoreboard. And then SDSU took over after that.
Well, 9 turnovers by South Dakota, and that led to a lot of transition opportunities for South Dakota State on the other end.
Timmer makes it 3 straight threes for the Jacks. 9 quick ones already for Haley Timmer.
Now, Grace Larkins back out there for South Dakota, but is it too late? I mean, it's already a 19-point deficit here.
Larkins going in. Burkhardt was there defensively. Sellen on the help and the foul on Burkhardt.
And this is why Grace Larkins is so important to have her out there. She can create offense by herself, and terrific job there, going strong to the rim, drawing the contact, getting to the free throw line. This is what has made her one of the premier offensive players in the Summit League.
5 for Larkins, who coming in has taken more than 100 shots, more than anybody else on this South Dakota roster. Just got to have her out there.
You've got to, yeah. She's got to stay out of foul trouble here. And you see they attack her inside, and she cannot pick up that 3rd foul trying to defend the post there. But I tell you, that's a really smart job by Aaron Johnston and his staff to go right at her in the low post and isolate her inside there and get an opportunity, and she does pick up her 3rd.
Had her for 41 seconds in the quarter before that 3rd foul. Missed by Sellen.
Now South Dakota's got to take care of the ball here. Even if it's not getting great shots, just start by not turning it over. Give yourself a chance to be set defensively. work this shot clock, try to get SDSU to make a mistake defensively.
Hand off to Gieber, being hounded there by Timmer. Burkhardt steps out. Almost picked off by Sellen, and it does touch Hempy as it goes out of bounds. And the turnovers get to 10-0 now.
Yeah, this is like sharks smelling blood in the water here. I mean, once South Dakota gets pushed out like that, SDSU just all over the ball, denying passes, Sellen there, tipping it. That time off of Hempy.
Burkhardt, baseline cut, and one foul on Demers.
She just picked up her second. So 4 starters for South Dakota with 2 or more fouls in this game. And again, we talked about the injuries for USD. This is not a deep bench at all for Kayla Caria. She looks down there and she's got almost as many players wearing white t-shirts and street clothes and are dressed for this game.
Jacks get the old board off the missed free throw. They go right back to Peyton Burkhardt. She's got 8, another assist for Drew Gilton.
Now South Dakota's got to start attacking inside, being more aggressive off the bounce here. They are just passing it on the perimeter, and South Dakota State's just waiting right there, just trying to jump passing lanes.
Avila Ambrosi, her first bucket, her first shot won't go down. Jacks, meanwhile, with Paige Meyer and Drew Gilton out there together. Sellen, call an offensive foul. They said Sellen threw the right shoulder in there.
Now the crowd here doesn't like it, but Sellen just being aggressive. And honestly, in a lot of games, that's probably not going to get called. We've seen games that have gotten pretty physical over the years where that one will be let go. I tell you, SDSU's ball pressure has been terrific after the first 3 minutes of this game.
Again, Carson and Duffney, 2 redshirt freshmen on this side. Shot clock to 3. Gilton reaching in there.
Yeah, they have no idea. That's a young team out there just unaware. And that's where they so much miss Larkins, who would go get that ball, Tom, and just take over the last 10 seconds for USD. And she's sitting on the bench with 3 fouls instead.
Goes down as another turnover.
And that's exactly what Kayla Carius there is talking to Avila Ambrosi about. Hey, you're our point guard right now. You're the veteran player we've got out there, although she's only a sophomore, but at least something. You got to go get that thing.
Paige Meyer just kept that dribble alive, weaves in for her second bucket. Morgan Hansen stepped through there, call for a travel.
Well, even though that's a turnover, that's the kind of play South Dakota needs. They need to get back to having some players attack, and Morgan Hansen tried to make something happen for her team that time.
Ripped off. Duffney almost had a steal, but they get her for the foul instead.
I think one of the most difficult things about defending this SDSU team is they've just got a ton of interchangeable parts. I mean, they'll sub a lot, and they've got players that can play multiple positions. Like you said, Drew Gilton goes off now, but her and Meyer out there, 2 terrific point guards and really still complementing each other well.
And the 10th player for the Jacks off the bench now, Madison Mathewitz.
Look at that ball movement. Great passing there.
Hansen got out, got a hand up on Sellen though on the shot.
Jacks continuing to switch screens, but USD doing a great job throwing back against the grain there. And before Tyson can get to the switch, they knock in a 3.
Yeah, Morgan Hansen, her first 3 has shot it almost 40% from 3 this year. Timmer with the answer at the other end. There's 3 threes for Timmer. She's got a dozen. Coyote timeout.
She has been in constant foul trouble in this thing, and there she sits, unable to help her team trying to crawl out of this huge hole right now.
Hansen trying to go back-to-back threes, and good for Morgan Hansen.
A player that has had some terrific games shooting it. 2 big ones there. And South Dakota switching defenses now to a zone. And why not? You got to throw something different here. And they nearly get a steal there at the top of the key for Giebert.
Out of the scramble, though, Meyer to Sellen. And the Coyotes come away with it. Here's Giebert.
Now let's see if they can get Hansen freed up here again. Just hit a couple threes in a row.
Duffney in the post against Sellen, up and in.
Carly Duffney from Green Bay, Wisconsin, a player that redshirted last year in this program. Good bucket that time.
Wow.
I think that's the definition of knifing through the defense there. Meyer getting to the rim.
Scoop for Paige Meyer, who's got 6 off the bench. Duffney again going against Tyson this time, and Kelly Tyson with the swat into the hands of Sellen. Mathowitz, the true freshman, back in there again.
And I think South Dakota State just trying to diagnose, are they man or zone? USD's man this time.
Meyer tried scoop the other side. Tyson forward, back up, in, and one. Callie Tyson.
Now this is a South Dakota State team that is always going to play with some physicality inside. This time Tyson going strong on the O glass, and she caught Hempy there at the end. I don't know if they'll come take a look at that. It didn't appear to be intentional anyway, and they're going to go ahead and just keep the game moving.
4 straight free throws for Tyson. Tyson only plays about 17 minutes a game, averages that 6 and 6. Giebert gets loose after the Jack tried to switch it up top. Gilton with the rebound, and a foul on Morgan Hansen will be her 3rd now.
Well, now here's the thing, that puts South Dakota State at the free throw line, but maybe that's not all bad. That's the one place SDSU's kind of struggled in this game. They're shooting 57% in the game, but just 7 of 12 from the foul line. And Tom, how about the game here right now for Drew Gilton, her stat line? She's already got 8 points. She's not been a big-time scorer for them this year. But her normal 2 assists, no turnovers, just playing terrific, taking care of the ball and being that point guard.
88% at the line. Gets 2 there. She's got 9 now.
And she has had to play this year with some injury as well. You'll see her leg. She's got a knee brace on it too, and does not let that slow her down.
Hempy lining up 3. Hempy's hit 2 threes. Morgan Hansen's hit 2. Great pass from Tyson to Brooklyn Meyer, who gets her own and gets her first 2.
Another run going here for SDSU. It's 9-0 now. Of course, they had a 17-0 run in the first quarter that really blew this thing open.
Jack Rabbit foul on Mathowitz.
Here's the freshman Brooklyn Meyer, and just sticking with it. Great lesson for any young players there. It doesn't matter if you miss that first one. You go get that offensive board and put it in. Now we sometimes forget to talk about this with SDSU defensively, Tom, but they're big. I mean, South Dakota State's got players out there that basically are at 6 foot at every position. This lineup right now in particular, really long. Their shortest player out there, Drew Gilton, at 5'10".
Nice move by Cassidy Carson.
Another redshirt freshman. So again, a lot of young players on this USD squad. Gilton shooting it well in her first rivalry game. You think she was looking forward to this thing growing up, being a South Dakota kid? You know it.
Yep. She's looking for her shot. That's 3 threes now for Gilton. Here is Avila Ambrosi from the corner.
Yeah, they got South Dakota out of the zone. That didn't last very long for the Coyotes.
Burkhardt kind of clearing some space in the lane there. Back out to Maddie Volostin for 3.
Yeah, that's 8 threes made already for South Dakota State. That's what they average per game. And they've done a great job moving the ball. They already have 12 assists in this game already on their 20 hoops.
Foul on Volostin. Coming up at the half, we'll take a look at the nonprofit organization called Her Turn, created by Maya Sellen and Tori Nelson here in Brookings. Take a look at the highlights and the stats from this one. Check around the Summer League scoreboard on this Saturday afternoon. 4th team foul there on South Dakota State. Again, Coyotes playing nearly this entire first half without Grace Larkins. Played 6 minutes. Hebert backing in, rebound to Brooklyn Meyer. Burkhardt, can they stay hot from 3? That skips off, and a good rebound by Macy Giebert, and that's the 5th foul on the Jacks.
Yeah, it was just textbook block out by the senior there. For those that don't know the story with Macy Giebert, of course, her sister, one of the best players ever here at South Dakota State. And there's always been an interesting situation, you know, the Giebert family here. And one from SDSU, and now Macy playing here at USD. Hadn't had a lot of opportunities before this season, but she, I tell you, has become a lockdown defender. As you see their family right there. A lockdown defender for South Dakota this year, and has now had to kind of take on some of the scoring here with Larkins there on the bench.
Maddie Giebert ended up 5th all-time in scoring here for the Jackrabbits. And there is a South Dakota State turnover. That's going to be their first real live ball turnover. The first one was on the charge by Sellen. And then she throws it away there, but that's just 2 turnovers here in this opening half on the Jacks.
And yeah, South Dakota State has picked up where they left off the last 2 games here offensively, just playing at such a high level. I mean, their 2 games last week, they scored 94 against North Dakota State, 105 against North Dakota, and on a current pace similar to that today. South Dakota just really frustrated here offensively. Again, this is where they definitely missed their leading scorer, Larkins.
Giebert all the way in against Gilton to get back to the free throw line.
Get a lot of credit there to Macy Giebert, just trying to make something happen and be an aggressive late shot clock there.
Had Macy, had Maddie, also had Drew in that family.
Yeah. Terrific player at the University of Sioux Falls and is now coaching there.
4 straight free throws for Macy Giebert.
Well, I don't know if Aaron Johnston and his staff will look at points per possession at halftime, but South Dakota State's efficiency right now is about a 1.6, and that's amazing. Should have added to it there, and they will.
Rebound and a bucket for Burkhardt. She's got 10 points and nearly a double-double here in the opening half. Well, she's got 5 rebounds.
South Dakota State averaging nearly a point and a half every time they touch it, and now they're going to try to get some transition. Great hands there by Burkhardt at the top of the key. They'll try to play possession here and not let USD get it back.
Let's try to jump it, and they do take it away from Meyer. Got a little time here, but right back to Tori Nelson. 4 seconds to go. Nelson with the steal and the bucket to close the half for South Dakota State as the Jacks hit 61 in the first 20 minutes.
Just great poise here. South Dakota State didn't panic when they turned it over, got it back, and Nelson glanced at that clock, knew she had 4 seconds, took it strong to the rim.
All right, second half. Here we go with the Jacks. 61 up there, their highest output of the season in the first half. Grace Larkins back out there. Larkins, again, only 6 minutes on the floor in that opening half because of foul trouble. And as you said, it's like she's starting a new game here for as long as she's actually been off the floor.
Yeah, you think about real time. I mean, she basically did not play the second quarter, and then you got the halftime on top. That's probably been 35, 40 minutes. Got to get the body back going. Let's see if she can.
Stop for the Jacks on the opening possession. Gilton dropping it down to Tori Nelson. Nelson, they go right at Larkins again. Nelson gets her own rebound. Here's Timmerlet. It doesn't in the opening half. Tried to get it to Burkhardt, and that's knocked out by Hempy.
Now, Grace Larkins picked up 2 of her 3 fouls trying to defend the post, and you mentioned it. I mean, they're going to post up whoever she's guarding and try to force her to have to do it again.
Nicely run by the Jacks. Burkhardt to a rolling Tori Nelson for the first hoop of the second half. Walker Demers, the freshman, making some room inside. First 2 for Demers, freshman from Grafton, North Dakota. Wow, that was a great look by Gilton. Couldn't make the delivery.
And that right there is something South Dakota State really just didn't do in the first half, and that was turn it over. They had 3 turnovers charted. One of them was on an offensive foul.
Larkins draws one here on Gilton. That'll be the 3rd on Gilton.
And that right there's another factor. Without Larkins on the floor, you know, she draws a ton of fouls on the other team. And so South Dakota State didn't really get in foul trouble kind of as a result of that too.
Demers tied up by Burkhardt and then used that step through move and scores and one. And the foul on Burkhardt will be her 3rd.
Well, I thought Burkhardt had a really good position here. And she got her arm in there just a little bit. I think that's what the officials saw. Demers, a good-looking freshman post with a great start to her second half.
5 quick ones for Demers.
Here's that zone. South Dakota showed it a little bit in the first half.
Gilton goes right over the top of everybody to Burkhardt. And got it back and then got fouled, they say, by Morgan Hansen. And that's already 4 now on Hansen, who's got to come out.
So much foul trouble for this USD team, which again is shorthanded with injury as well. As you see the leading scores for South Dakota State.
Peyton Burkhardt dropping in the 9th, made 3 of the game for the Jacks.
Now they have just shot it so well as a team in this game, and Burkhardt adding to it now.
Larkin again drawing the late double team. Demers goes down to tie it up for the Coyotes. Goes over to South Dakota State though.
When Grace Larkins has been in there, and when she's been putting it to the deck, Aaron Johnson's team has swarmed her. And I mean, it's not that Grace Larkins hasn't seen that from other teams this year too. I mean, everyone knows that she's the catalyst offensively, so trying to shut her down.
Macy Giebert tried to sell it. Ref not buying it. Stays with the Jacks.
That's really good help though by Giebert, coming off her player, helping on that lob. She was really the only one that could make a play on that. Steal by Avila Ambrosi.
And this has been a big storyline so far with 4 on Hansen. Now Larkins had those 3 in the first half. Demers, 7 quick points for Walker Demers to start the second half.
Tom, you mentioned she's a freshman from Grafton, North Dakota. She actually reclassified. She could still be a high school senior this year if she wanted to be, but decided she was ready to start college and came a year early.
Selin draws the foul on the drive. Get the foul on Giebert, and that'll be 3 on Macy Giebert now.
Now, this is what knocking in 9 threes will do for you, because South Dakota State has gotten USD spread out more defensively, right? You start worrying about guarding the 3-point line. That then opens the drive, and Maya Selin taking advantage of that.
Selin coming off a huge weekend, had 24 against North Dakota State last week. Followed that up with 30 against North Dakota.
And Tom moved into number 2 all-time in South Dakota State career scoring. Only trails Macy Miller now.
Selin came into this game with 1,900 career points. Larkin blocked again by Callie Tyson. Second block of the game for Tyson.
Now they're going to make Grace Larkins go against size, and they're going to switch screens on her to not give her free runs to the basket. And Tyson did a great job not fouling there. That's really difficult to do.
Switch again. Larkins comes out. Tyson comes out on Larkins. Look at Callie Tyson guarding whoever comes in to her perimeter. Avila Ambrosi can get that down. Kick it out to Selin.
That was a great defensive possession by Tyson. She had to switch on multiple different players.
Wouldn't go down for Timmer, trying to get her own, and Giebert comes away with the rebound.
First missed shot of the game for Timmer, who was perfect before that.
Giebert's 3 short.
Yeah, she never had a good grip on the ball there. You saw as soon as it came off her hand, it was spinning sideways.
Carly Duffney back in for the Coyotes as Demers sits down. Again, 7 points here in this third quarter for Demers. Paige Meyer back in for the Jacks. Nasty issue. Again in the post with Selin, who's got 11 now.
I don't know really how you guard that action. That's just really good screening, both on the perimeter and the interior, to free up Selin that time.
Larkins got a step on Nelson. Tyson there again with the help, and then Duffney came and got it back for USD, and she got fouled. First foul on Tori Nelson is Brooklyn Meyer, and Maddie Velostin check back in.
Now this is a game now where South Dakota, I mean, they're trying to play with some pride here. Obviously got down huge in that first half, but you know Kayla Karius wants to see her team battle. And this is a group that she is going to have together here for multiple years. This is not going to be a memorable experience the way this game's gone so far, but you could still start chipping away at this. That's what she wants to see her team do. She knows that they've got to quit doing this here, and that's turning it over.
Selin for 3. She's got a couple, and that is 10 made threes for the Jackrabbits.
And it's just contagious. This is exactly what happened in their 2 home games last week against North Dakota and North Dakota State, where they just got on a roll offensively.
Cassidy Carson on the drive for USD. Paige Meyer.
My goodness.
Contagion continues.
That's the 6th player now to hit a 3 for SDSU. They've hit 11 of 21 of them here. This looks like the team from last year that led the country in 3-point shooting.
Wow, great move by Duffney. And then Brooklyn Meyer got her on the foul at the end. So free throws for the Coyotes coming up. South Dakota State 75-39 on the Ag Tiger scoreboard. Here midway through the third, Carly Duffney to shoot 2 for the Coyotes.
Tom, we've talked a little bit about the youth of this USD team, and you look at the 9 main players that play. 2 of them are seniors. And again, Janai Ugofsky not available tonight, one of those seniors. But after that, it's 4 sophomores and 3 freshmen. So this is a very young nucleus for this USD team this year.
Red hold is the call, and that's on Larkins, and that's 4 now on Larkins.
That was a tough one that time to go against her. Grace Larkins, who in a lot of games, I mean, she averages 31 minutes a game in summer league games, but you know, in a big game like today, she probably would have played 35, 36 minutes. Has just been hampered with these fouls.
Yeah, we played 26 minutes. Larkins has played less than 12 of those. Selin cranking it up again. She's got 16 now.
Now her 12th straight game in double figures. And 16th this year. So she, again, just has such a consistent score for this team.
Duffney again. That won't go down. Velostin rebound. Here's Paige Meyer. Burkhardt. Extremely open. That won't go down, though. Tyson going after a rebound, and they're going to call the Coyotes with a foul on Duffney.
Well, South Dakota State scored 30 points in the first quarter, 31 in the second, and they are on pace right now to do it again here in this third quarter. There's just been no let up offensively, although turnover that time.
6 turnovers now, but 18 assists to 6 turnovers. Yeah. Jacks have 7 players with at least 2 assists, and 6 players that have hit a 3 so far in the game.
Yeah, and that's kind of where their team is. I mean, they average almost 20 assists a game in summer league play, but it's not like there's any one player that's out there getting 6 or 7 of them. It is a team effort sharing the ball. And, you know, I think a lot of questions were asked about this team offensively after their non-conference schedule, because they did have some struggles scoring in it. But I think some of that had to do with the competition they were playing, which was elite. It was the 7th toughest non-conference schedule in the country for South Dakota State. But Tom, I think the other factor was in the lineup, you know, they did not have Meyer. Paige Meyer, their point guard. And now that she's been back for summer league games, I think you've really started to see this SDSU team hit their stride offensively. That's her inbounding it right there. I mean, she makes a difference.
Tyson trying to run that down. Selin into the corner. Meyer just going to crank it 3 instead.
There's that difference right there. It's shooting, it's scoring, but she means more to this team than that. I mean, it's pushing it in transition. We talked earlier in the broadcast. They've had to limit her minutes, just getting her stamina back. But she's done a great job. She's been out there for 14 of them here today so far. Here she is pushing it again. Look at her go. No one's stopping her. I mean, she has another gear when she wants it. And the intensity level that she can play at is maybe unmatched.
Left hand finish there. 14 for Paige Meyer. Off Tyson, and she's going to get the foul here, but Callie Tyson has played fantastic defensively. Gets the foul, going to get Carly Duffney back to the free throw line. Demers will come in for Duffney here after the free throws, and those two have really
they've had
the scoring here for the Coyotes.
Exactly, 2 freshmen. And I mean, we've seen when Demers has had to go out of the game, quite frankly, USD has no other post players to put in there. They're all injured right now, and so they've had to play small. It's hurt them on the glass at times and hurt them defensively trying to guard the paint.
So Duffney goes out with 9. Demers checks back in. She had those quick 7 points to start this third quarter. Now the Coyotes Zone pressing it up the floor, knocked out by Avila Ambrosi.
All right, here's your trivia question. When Paige Meyer hit that last three, now 5 players in double figures for South Dakota State tonight. The last time they did that was when?
5 players in double figures.
Yep.
Last Saturday?
That's a good question. One would have thought that when they scored over 100 points. According to our notes from South Dakota State, it was last season, the WNIT championship against Seton Hall. I think Sellen going for 30 last weekend was maybe a reason why.
30, Burkhardt had 18. Yeah.
Yep.
They had 4 in double digits in that game. Foul on Demers out of that little scrap. And now both teams over the limit here in the third quarter. So here's Tyson at the line. And the thing about this SDSU team, Brad, that strikes you is just the roles that they play and how well they play them. Tyson just does her thing, comes in, plays defense, gets rebounds, block shots. Peyton Burkhardt is piling it up in all areas. Points, rebounds, assists in this game.
Yeah, she has really looked the part here, especially in Summit League play. I think Burkhardt is showing her experience here.
There's Haley Timmer, who could score a lot more than she does. Slicing for 2 more. That's 14 for Timmer, who's only missed 1 shot in the game. Avila Ambrosi for 3. Can't quite connect.
Well, SDSU's so deep. I mean, they are not taking their foot off the gas here. Look at this.
Meyer to Burkhardt.
I mean, they are going full throttle. They don't care what the scoreboard says right now. And this crowd's loving it.
Timmer got into traffic that time, fouled by Demers, who was just kind of trying to back out of there. We got the foul anyway.
Well, anyone who's, of course, watched this rivalry over the last decade knows that this is not the way the script usually has gone. And South Dakota, the victim of some turnovers, some foul trouble, some injuries, and it has all snowballed and piled up on them here, unfortunately, today. And I'll say on top of that, I mean, SDSU's playing at an elite level there. I mean, this is a team that's, we knew coming into the year was hands down, I mean, the pick to win the Summit League. But Tom, remember, they were in the top 25 in the AP poll to start the year too, and have, I mean, wins over Mississippi State, Kansas State, Louisville, just to name a few. I mean, they've got a resume that's right now going to get them in the NCAA tournament, even if they don't win the Summit League.
Steal by Timmer, foul on Giebert.
But, I mean, you want to talk about making a statement. South Dakota State's doing it right now. And quite frankly, they did it last weekend when the North Dakota schools were here too.
Jack scored 94 against North Dakota State, 105 a week ago here against North Dakota. And 92 already here with another quarter to play. Cassidy Carson cut off, back out. And not touched into the corner there. The Jacks take it right back.
Yeah, the defensive pressure by South Dakota State's been maybe equally as impressive as what they've done on this and shooting it.
Gilton, who's been sitting for a while, the no look to Burkhardt. Wow.
That is what South Dakota State loves about having Gilton in the lineup this year. Her ability to make plays like that. Those are just passes that lead to just easy buckets.
Gilton rebound, just a couple of ticks left. What a pass by Gilton to close out this third quarter. Jacks by 51, and Paige Meyer making an impact again.
Yeah, both these point guards for South Dakota State today have had terrific days, but Paige Meyer really having a good third quarter here, shooting it, knocking in a couple threes. And the Jacks have gotten this rivalry lopsided in their way. Still with a quarter to go.
Grace Larkins again picked up her fourth foul in that third quarter and has just been limited, extremely limited by fouls. 5 points for Larkins. And the Jacks, of course, have had 2 or 3 defenders pounding her all over the floor.
Well, when she's had to play such sporadic minutes, hardly any of them strung together, and there she does hit her first 3 of the game. But she has not had any rhythm out there because of that foul trouble.
Tori Nelson with a 3, and that is the 7th Jackrabbit player in this game to make a 3-point shot. Jacks are 13 of 24 at the 3-point line. Sophie Hayden in for the first time this afternoon for USD.
This crowd loves it when they can get to 100. They did it in their last game. Knocking on the door now.
Could do it here. A little short on the 3, though. Jacks coming off that UND game where they made 15 threes. And just as much, though, at this end for South Dakota State, holding the Coyotes to 46 thus far. Causing turnovers.
Yeah, the turnovers have been the big thing. 21 of them for South Dakota. And this is a team that averages about 15 of them per game in Summit League, which is a very good number. One of the top 50 in the country when it comes to taking care of it, but not today.
Stop and go by Gilton. Burkhardt rips it out of there. Back to Nelson. Sellen to hit the century. 19 now for Sellen. That is 12 steals now for the Jacks.
Well, you just look up and down the lineup. Every player shooting it well. It's contagious here.
22 for Peyton Burkhardt. .103-46, Jackrabbits.
By Dakota Iron. Visit DakotaIronEquipment.com.
This is looking to be an all-timer for South Dakota State. Still 7:54 to go in this one, and this is already the 3rd most points scored in this rivalry. Sammy Stats has been doing some research for us back here. Sam knew it. And
yeah, the laptop's smoking there. Man, you look first of all at the line score. I mean, 30 points plus in each of the 3 quarters for SDSU. But yeah, the record, we have a couple of them. 105 is the highest scored by either team in this D-run rivalry, and that was by USD. That was an overtime game, and that just got tied there with Timmer. But 109 SDSU scored in this rivalry game back in 94-95.
Larkins stepping through there, blocked though by Gilton. And South Dakota State going to get this 5 out of there. Starters will go to the bench. And they did the job. Drew Gilton had 12, Haley Timmer 19, Peyton Burkhardt 22, Maya Sellen 19. Tori Nelson with 7.
Yeah, you want to talk about production out of her starting 5. That's amazing.
Paige Meyer sitting on 14 right now. Here's Duffney to the line again. for the Coyotes. She leads USD with 9 points right now. That was one of Aaron Johnston's points this week. Was I want my starters to play like starters, and he got that definitely today.
He absolutely did, and because the reason he wants that is because he knows how good his bench is too. So if you can get your starters playing at such a high level, and then you bring in your second unit, which quite frankly is going to be better than anyone else's second unit in the Summer League this year, that's when you see a game get blown open like this one has.
So you got Mesa Byam in for the first time for the Jacks.
Just able to distribute minutes. Maya Sellen, the most minutes played in this game, 26 by any of the Jackrabbits.
Walker Demers again, 9 for her now. 9 for Demers, 11 for Carly Duffney.
Demers has had a really good second half. They've been able to get her paint touches, and she's been effective.
Tyson rolling into that double team, drops it off to Byam. Blocked by Demers and knocked out of bounds with the shot clock at 12. Meyer just a wizard with the dribble. Gets out of that mess. Off to Volostin for another 3, and that is the 13th. Of the game for the Jacks.
Actually, great. I think that's 16
Excuse
now
me,
for the game.
Stats are behind 16 in the game. Second for Volostin, who is second on the team and made 3s, by the way, behind Maya Sellen.
It's twice as many as what South Dakota State makes on average.
Tyson and Byam combo block. Larkins triple teamed and throws it in with the left hand. Larkins gets to 10 here midway through the 4th. Next bucket though by South Dakota State will be the highest total ever in this showdown series. Screen and roll. Meyer picked off by Larkins.
That's great defense by Larkins, and this is where she's terrific.
To Duffney and 1, and Carly Duffney will get back to the free throw line where she is getting it done this afternoon.
Tom, we haven't had enough time to talk about Grace Larkins because she hasn't been on the floor with the foul trouble, but I mean, she leads this Coyote team in almost every category, whether it's scoring. You see the assist there. She leads them in steals, rebounding. That's why not having her out there was such a huge blow to them today.
Yeah, leads them in minutes, too. The only player on the Coyotes that averages better than 30 minutes a game.
So, I mean, we probably talked about her offensive impact not being there, but, I mean, defensively, too, just a huge loss with her foul trouble. And you know, credit some to South Dakota State because they attacked her. They put her in positions to pick up some of those fouls.
Maddie Volostin again, 3 threes for Volostin.
You see how talented the depth of South Dakota State is, and that's kind of what separates them, quite frankly, from the rest of the pack here. Again, they're the only Summit League team that hasn't lost yet this year in league play.
There's Ellie Kolbeck, another freshman. Kolbeck and Mathowitz, the freshman guards out there. Reagan Nessheim is in as well. Volostin will get to the free throw line and could become the 6th Jack in double figures with a couple of free throws. 111-55. Fun for the season, but just not here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a game by game for her. For instance, last weekend she did not play against North Dakota, was able to go against North Dakota State, and unfortunately today did not feel like it was going to be able to be a go for her, and obviously team missed that a big time here today too.
So 11 points now for Volostin. That is 6 Jacks in double figures. 113 on the board. South Dakota State scored 114 against who last year?
Western Illinois here, so they're knocking on the door of that and getting tabs on what the all-time scoring mark is for this program in their history. And I'll tell you, South Dakota State's, that's within reach.
Rebound to Byam. Just over 3,100 fans here today.
And maybe, quite frankly, not as loud as usual, just because the game has been decided, probably, you could say, since the second quarter, the way South Dakota State's played. Not that they're not enjoying this, but, man, we just have never seen this rivalry get like this in the Division I era between these two programs.
Mesa Byam gets in the book with that last bucket. Morgan Hansen late shot clock 3. And here is Mathewitz. Well, if they gave Mathewitz an assist on that last hoop, that's 28 assists and 8 turnovers for South Dakota State. Ellie Kolbeck couldn't get it down, but there is Nessheim with the offensive rebound. Mathewitz with a travel.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the last three-pointer by Matthew Boston, the Jackets will set a single-game three-point record for SDSU with 17.
All right, not far off the Summer League basketball tournament set for March 3rd through the 7th at the Denny Sanford Premier Center in Sioux Falls. Visit thesummitleague.org/tickets for details on the Summit Deck experience and other ticket promotions this year. And again, an extra day for the Summer League tournament. Will start on Friday this year instead of Saturday.
Yeah, they just announced the South Dakota State has tied their record for most threes in a game with 17. So plenty of records continue to get set here. We'll tell you the all-time scoring mark for South Dakota State is 119. So they're close here. And now you have to go back to the Division II days.
Maddie Velostin lining up another one, comes away to Kolbeck though, and she and Duffney collide. And they are going to get a foul on the Coyotes on Duffney.
So, Tom, if you were going to guess an era of Division II basketball when South Dakota State would have put 119 on the board, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
I'm going to go to the 90s.
That kind of would have been my thought, because they had some teams that could fill it up a little bit then, but you need to think more about their best team maybe that won the national championship, right? 02-03. It was actually the year after that.
Okay.
In November of 03, when they were able to put up 119 against Texas A&M International. That would have tied it if that three went in. They're 1 point away now.
Byam again. Couple buckets off the bench for Mesa Byam. Melissa Pater was on that 03 team. Brenda Davis, that era.
Yep.
A lot of top 10 scorers from that early 2000 era for the Jacks. And again, we're going to get out of here quick. We got some people that got to get to Vermillion, and we've got the pregame show coming up at 5:45 with Jay Elson and Sean Morris and Brad Newitt and David Brown. And you can find that here on Midco Sports, Midco Sports Plus, our streaming app, as the Jackrabbit and the Coyote men tip off at 6 o'clock in Vermillion tonight.
Yeah, that should be another terrific battle. You look at both of those teams, and the matchup looks extremely even. Both of them have had some things they've had to work through with new lineups, and I think the big news for South Dakota is head coach Eric Peterson's supposed to be back on the sideline. So that's really good news after he had sustained an injury earlier this year at his home, has missed the last 7 games, but we'll see if that gives USD a little shot in the arm here too heading into tonight.
Talk about the 119 is the record for South Dakota State. This is the most points by a Summer League team since Western Illinois had 118 in 2018. Sophie Hayden going against Byam. Good cut. Bucket there for Nicole Avila Ambrosi. And we get to the final minute of this showdown.
Wow, you just would have never expected that an offensive record like that would be set here for SDSU against USD because of how competitive and honestly how defensive minded the matchups have been of late between these two teams.
No for Mathowitz. Coyotes with the rebound. South Dakota State had 61 at halftime, and they've just kept that pace through the entire game. 30 in the opening quarter, 61 at halftime.
Yeah, put up another 33 spot in the third quarter. So offensively, SDSU just terrific throughout this game.
Morgan Hansen with 2 more. Hansen with 8, but Grace Larkins held to 10 this afternoon, and the Jacks are going to sit on 118.
Tom, this will be the largest margin of victory in this series ever. And what a day for South Dakota State. They were hitting on all cylinders from the get-go.
6 Jacks in double digits, 22 for Peyton Burkhardt. And we will come back with the final numbers on this one as the Jacks win the opening matchup in the South Dakota Showdown this season. 118-59 on the Ag Tiger scoreboard.